What is up, guys? Today we're going to be doing this third plane challenge mission here in Battlestations Midway, Attack on 4C. This is probably the second hardest mission, plane challenge mission. Well, the second easiest, I don't know. I find it a little bit easy, but it is a little bit of pressure in the end. But anyways, here's what you need to do. You need to sink the two battleships in the Force Z or task force, the HMS Prince of Wales and the Repulse. Well, HMS Repulse. So, in the start of this mission, you probably want to start launching five bomber squadrons with loading with the kilogram bombs and three Oscar fighter planes. That's what I usually like to do. There's also another thing. It also works if you have two Oscar fighter planes and two 6 bomber planes. But I find it easier to get rid of the fighters with 3 Oscar planes. So, anyways, once you start launching some of these planes, immediately let them head to the center of between the two airfields to prepare a strike on the carrier, not the battleships yet, because this will be needed to get a gold medal and to cause less stress for you to complete this mission. So, anyways, like I said, spawn 3 Oscar fighter planes, fighter squadrons, and 5 level bomber squadrons. I prefer to use Bettys because I believe they have more bombs than the Nels. So, anyways, as you see, we get to the first part of as you see. Group up your squadrons into one force. Once they're close enough, you usually want to start attacking. But as you see, you gotta wait some time for them to catch up with each other, and you want to attack as one whole group, not in like multiple sides and stuff like that. Then again, sometimes it works, especially during some certain times, but not as much though. So, anyways, I group up all my bomber and planes, fighter planes. I group them all into one big force, and yeah. As you see, there's already 4 Hurricane squadrons already launched. We have 3 Oscar planes, so we should be able to take that. Basically, once your task force is usually grouped up into this one big plane force, immediately have your Oscars go in first and start attacking some of the Hurricane squadrons. And once you target the Hurricane squadrons, have your bombers all attack the carrier, the Hermes. I think that's how you call it, or the Hermes, or whatever. Hermes, maybe, I don't know. Have all your bomber squadrons get ready to attack, level bomb the Hermes, because this will help relieve some less stress, basically. If you want to get rid of the fighters so you don't have to worry about fighters later on in the mission, you probably want to sink the Hermes and to get a gold medal here. Usually 5 of these bomber planes of Bettys, 5 bomber squadrons of Bettys, that usually takes out the Hermes because of magazine hits and flooding. If you want to have a more certain type, go and spawn in 6 Betty bombers planes and 2 Oscar planes, but I like to do this way. As you see, try to control the fighters so you can start taking some of the Hurricanes out, so you can get rid of the planes, basically. As you see, my bomber planes start launching their payloads on the carrier. You want your fighters to distract their fighters, so they won't attack your Bettys that are level bombing the Hermes. As you see right here, the carrier is taking some massive hits from the bombers. At first, as you see right there, magazine hits, and the fire was out of control, and the Hermes sinks beneath the waves. and we have the fun, and we have the nice short victory music here. I like it. I like these victory musics. So, yep, have it worse for your Oscar planes. Try to eliminate as much of the hurricanes as you can before they all get shot down. I think in this mission, in this part, not all of the hurricanes were shot down. Of course, then not all of them will be shot down, but they will work eventually. So, anyways, replace your Oscar planes with bomber planes, depending if you eliminate eliminated the fighters. But if you have still some hurricane fighters rolling around, you probably want to get just one squadron of Oscars just to be sure the ship. Just to be sure it works basically. Make sure you don't have any hurricanes ramming up to your bomber planes. Anyways, at the same time, I make my planes go suicidal and practice in Baku. Let your Betties practice in Baku, or bomber planes practice in Baku to save more time and spawn new bomber planes to get ready for next strike. So that's what I do here. I save my time trying to learn. Sure, you might not have you probably have roughly a good amount of these planes to finish the job here in this mission. I'll assure you that. And I'll switch them. Instead of using bombs, you're using torpedoes instead, because what's unique about these Japanese bomber planes is that they can load torpedoes. So have your bombers, torpedo bombers, and if you have a fighter squadron, might as well group them up into one big force, like in the last time. Try to save as much time as you can, and try to basically try to get as much planes up in the air before before the strike force gets to your location and starts firing a flag at you, and you do not want that to happen. And if you have hurricanes around, you don't want them to attack your bomber planes already. So it ain't fair. It ain't fair contest. So I sort of freak out a little bit because they're taking goddamn forever to land. But yeah, as you see, I quickly just cycle through many of my planes to see they're all operational. Blah, 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 blah. Yep. Just make your Betties or Nels, whatever you use, for torpedoes instead of bombs, because it's more efficient that way. And yeah. And for any bomber planes trying to land, practice Senpaku and save some time. I'm not even sure if I said that correctly, Senpaku. Don't be angry with me if I mispronounce it. I ain't Japanese, I'm American. So yep, I group up my planes into another strike force. Most of my it just takes forever. One thing I just hate about it just takes forever, especially in this sort of mission. The thing that really challenges me is that the amount of time you have before they get to the other side of the battlefield. That's the thing that challenges players. And if you don't take out the Hermes, you probably even be more stressful if the hurricanes are still all around. So anyways, once your bomber planes are all grouped up into one big group, let them all attack a certain one of the battleships. Let all torpedo bombers strike at one of the battleships. Not have 4-on-4, like 4 on one battleship. I used to do that, but then I learned that it's not as efficient. But it's more efficient to group them up into one big strike force and attack one battleship at a time. It's preferred to aim at the Repulse than the Prince of Wales for your first strike, because the HMS Repulse is 5 knots faster than HMS Prince of Wales in this game. So you don't, and you have more time to eliminate the Prince of Wales than the Repulse, so that's why you probably want to strike at the Repulse first, because it's faster. And like I said, use your Oscars to eliminate some of the remaining Hurricanes. As you see, they took out my first squadron with ease. And then for some reason, some of the cannons get shot from the fire from the whales. So, one thing that there might be some sort of glitch or error that the AI does is that the bomber torpedo planes, they launch their torpedoes way too high in order to get them to launch. So you gotta be careful on that. So that's why you gotta control most of these bomber planes to see so you can make sure they're direct hits. Some of them are most of them are gonna be missing. I'll have to show you that. As you see, some of it. As you see, you gotta hopefully hope for the best to see you got enough torpedoes to launch into the Repulse. As you see, luckily I got the Repulse to sink in the first strike. When you have your first battleship sunk from just one strike force, then you know you're doing a good job and you're not wasting time. So you feel good. If you have any Oscar fighter planes, just suicide them and ram on the Prince of Wales. I don't know why. I don't know. It just does some damage. And practice in Baku with the torpedo bombers. Practice in Baku with the torpedo bombers to save more time, and yeah, and prepare for another strike force against the Prince of Wales this time. Well, if you decide to hit the Prince of Wales instead of Repulse, but you know, it's usually preferred to take out the Repulse first than the Prince of Wales because Repulse is faster, and you don't want to. Because if one of those battleships reaches the end of the battlefield, you're screwed. Alright, practice in Baku with the remaining torpedo bombers and spawn new torpedo bombers to make another strike. Now at this time when I get in this part of the next strike, I hit the Prince of Wales from behind instead of from the front because it would just take more time. It would just take more time to get to that position, and by the time all the bomber planes were in position to make another strike, there was basically no room for me to get somewhere in front without getting AA fire at me. So immediately get your bomber planes to group up into one area and prepare to strike at the enemy. I think what I do in this part of the mission is that I try to do the anvil technique or something to hit. I try to do a somewhat of an anvil technique where I have two sets of bomber planes, one on each side of the other, and make some sort of angle to have both torpedoes striking at the battleship. So basically, no matter what, you're gonna get some hits from the from your bombers. So that's one thing you gotta that you can possibly do in this part, because you'll probably be in a situation like that. Luckily, the Prince of Wales is a lot slower compared to the Repulse, so it's less maneuverable. So that's a stress relief right there. So you can get more torpedo hits on the Prince of Wales more than the Repulse. So like I said, once your bomber planes are all grouped up, or you're doing the anvil technique like I'm doing here, get ready to strike, and hopefully be your last strike against the attack on Force Z or whatever. If not, you're probably pushing to the limit at this time, because you gotta basically rush and try to get some hits on the Prince of Wales. So anyways, my bomber planes are all grouped up. I immediately start launching torpedo planes because I'm in a little bit of a panic. I was a little bit freaking out here because I do not because they're getting pretty close to the other end of the battlefield, so I'm kind of getting worried. So anyways, get your planes to get to an attack force and do, maybe I guess it's efficient to do an anvil attack technique on the battleship, but if you want to go like group up like the last time when I attacked the Repulse, then go do that if you want to. But I just find it more efficient doing this way. Anyways, let's just going. As you see, first torpedo, I launch. So yeah, basically they're firing almost. They can't. One thing that's good is that they're firing both sides of the both sides of the Prince of Wales are firing at these planes, and that means more planes will get less shot down. Not only that, the Repulse was sunk, which means less AA was there. So as you see, I get a lot of torpedo hits actually, because as you see, the anvil technique is very efficient because no matter what, the Prince of Wales was not gonna avoid. It was not gonna escape from that. We're trying to maneuver that out. So anyways, the Prince of Wales sinks, and that is a mission completion. Once you eliminate those two battleships, it is a mission complete, and you completed this plane challenge. And this is actually the last plane challenge here. And eventually, I'm going to have to do the ship challenges. I just don't like the sub challenges because I'm not a big fan with the submarines. I like planes and ships more than submarines in this game, but yeah. Anyways, I will do videos on those quick later on. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you learned something from here. And yeah, if you guys learned something from here and think this was helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah guys, I will see you guys in the next video. See you guys there, everybody.